This video is brought to you by
our Patreon!
Tell them what they get, Joe.
Exclusive content, vlogs, live streams, access to the Discord, Regal Show community, and more. Join today. Woo! When the rootin' becomes tootin', the big boots will go walking. That's my new song.
When you're rootin' but you live long enough to see yourself become toot. Are you guys ready? The reason we were inspired to talk to you guys today about themed gas stations. Doesn't sound like a very interesting topic, but I promise it'll be fun. So today's story is actually a love story. How sweet is that?
Whoa, the sweetest thing.
You really wouldn't think that us sitting here talking about gas stations is a story of adoration, but you'd be surprised around these parts, alrighty? This is a story about perseverance. This is a story about defeating the odds. This is a story about rebirth. Sometimes you find something that fills the tank of your heart. That something is the world's largest pair of cowboy boots and a big old red hat. So let's talk about the hat and boots. All right, guys? The hat and the boots! Okay? Yeah! Let's fucking go!
Boots the house down gas station. Boots the hat down gas. Hat down gas is not good.
No.
I've had hat down gas.
So the Hat and Boots is a gas station in Seattle, Washington. It was built in 1954 by artist Louis Nasmith. It was originally planned that this was gonna go along with a shopping center that was all Western themed. So the boots are the bathrooms, and they stand at 21.5 feet tall and 24 feet tall. So the light blue one is for the cowgirls, and the dark blue boots for the cowboys. And then the hat is the world's biggest cowboy hat, and it's 44 feet across.
Okay, is that a hat? Remember we were talking about earlier? Like,
is it a snack? we have the argument, like, at what point does a snack become a meal?
yeah, at what point does a hat become
Not a hat anymore.
not a hat anymore?
I think it has to be wearable to be a hat.
Right. So that's the world's biggest hat-shaped building. Object.
Yeah.
That isn't a hat.
You're
Unless
right. But are those boots? Yes.
the character would be big enough to wear those.
Paul Bunyan? He's pretty
Paul
big,
Bunyan wasn't. Hold up. No. He wasn't shot.
He was just like a big
He was
dude,
a
right?
big guy. He wasn't like. How about this? Man, these are some big shoes to fill.
I like that.
You like that?
And they are, and you'll soon find out why.
The f***ing segue.
Louis Nasmith built these boots and this hat for this gas station, right? He hand bent the steel frame so that when they poured the concrete on top of the boots, they looked like they were worn.
Wow.
How amazing is that?
That's
he put his
beautiful.
whole heart and boot into that. Before it was named Hat and Boots, it was named Premium Tex. It sold Texaco gas, and it went along with the theme. And also, at premium gas stations, they would just give you things. You would fill up your gas there and they would give you a glass or like a toaster.
What?
Can you imagine there was a time in American history where you would do something as mundane and something you need to do, like filling up your tank, and they would just give you prizes?
Free prizes!
Not like a souvenir, it's a freaking toaster.
A full-on toaster.
A toaster, and that was probably even more expensive back then.
How often do you think they gave out the toaster? Most of the time it was a lollipop, I'm assuming, right?
So you either get a lollipop or a toaster. And apparently they decided one day that they didn't want to give away toasters anymore, so they said, we're Hat and Boots.
Can you imagine the day after they made that decision, everyone just lined up for their toaster? And then the guy that works there, that manager's like, you gotta go tell them. They're not getting a toaster. We are not giving out toasters ever again. Oh, for the love of God. What do you mean there's no more toasters? What now? Just the boots? That's why I came? For the visual boots? I don't even want to go. The bathrooms are dirty. I'm not going to go in there.
Hey, I know this is a bit that we're doing, but don't you dare say that those boots were dirty.
I'm talking
Don't you dare say they didn't take good care of those boots.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would never say that. I apologize.
It was even said that Elvis filled up his gas here. Topical Elvis movie.
I feel like everyone says Elvis has just been at a place. That's not a crazy thing to say.
But you have to put it the mindset back then. They were like, I touched something that Elvis touched. That's insane. That's what they're thinking when they're pumping gas at the Hat and Boots.
Can you imagine if Elvis was the guy who was complaining about the non-toaster premiums anymore?
He was like, I came over here to, I wanted to toast my bread for some peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Could someone attest to this? Every time I sell Elvis, Aubrey goes, can I have a peanut butter and banana sandwich?
Yeah,
I don't
he
remember.
loves peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Says who? I don't remember that.
I don't know if he said, can I have a peanut butter and banana sandwich, but I know that he likes peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Well, he would have to say it at some point.
And that's what I'm saying. He went there
Yeah.
to get the toaster to toast his bread for the peanut butter and banana sandwich.
The guy at the front's like, I'm so sorry. We stopped doing that like a month ago.
They're like
I'm
scrambling in the back,
I'm
seeing if they have
so
extra
embarrassed.
left over.
Just grab your toaster.
Just
Go
go
to
your
your
house.
house. Just grab your toaster. Just give Elvis your toaster.
Peanut butter, banana, and bacon sandwich.
The only thing-
bacon, peanut butter, mustache.
The only thing belongs on bacon is a mustache. Millennials, where you at?
All right, so this gas station became the biggest gas station in the state of Washington.
What do you mean?
In the 50s. This was the most visited gas station because of clearly the boots and the hats. It was a tourist destination. And then an omen swept over the land like a tumbleweed. They're building an interstate. And the interstate's gonna bypass the 99 that the Hat and Boots lays off of. I know.
Who did this? I need names. I want names.
The 99 highway was no longer a big pull. It was only really for locals after the interstate was built. So by 1980, the boot bathrooms had closed. And then in 1988, the entire gas station closed.
Oh, God.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's what I'm saying to the Hat and Boots.
I understand. I understand that you guys are not doing toasters anymore, but I just came to get some gas. I'm so sorry. We don't even do that anymore.
This is gonna be hard to look at, but this is Hat and Boots in its last few years. This was around the late 80s. As you can see, hat is no longer red anymore. And the boots are faded to the same shade. It became abandoned for the next like 10 years. It was basically just like a hot spot for graffiti artists and skateboarders to just like kind of skate around. And then the asphalt started to kind of get grown over by grass. The hat and the boots, abandoned.
Sad, wet hat.
That is until...
What?
I'm listening.
I'm listening.
The people of Georgetown, which is the neighborhood in Seattle where this gas station was, had a huge fondness in their heart for the Hat and Boots. Naturally. Duh. Who wouldn't?
Winning.
Winning. They bonded together and did a campaign to save the Hat and Boots. So there was like a couple different campaigns that happened on the radio. There was like a group of comedians in the Seattle area that were like, save the Hat and Boots. It didn't end up working. Then there was a Save Hat and Boots march where everybody wore hats like this. There's poison under the ground there because it's a gas station, obviously. So they're like, okay, well, if we try to demolish these, it will just cause a big mess. They have to be removed. But we don't want to remove them. That's what the state said. They're like, I don't want to. So if anybody wants them for $1, you can have them. Could you imagine buying these for $1?
That's gotta be the best $1 purchase of all time.
Of course, you have to pay to move them, which is like an insane
Probably
cost.
$20,000.
Yeah. And then Alan Phillips and his wife, Liddell Sines, they were like, okay, this is real this time. Let's band together. They're selling it for $1. Let's buy it and let's raise the funds to move it. So they like were the real like spearheaders of the final push to save Hat and Boots. In 2002, they raised $250,000 to move the Hat and Boots. And get this, guys, they were moved 4 blocks north to a park called Oxbow Park. Louis Nasmith, the original artist from 1954, guys, still was alive, still had the paint swatches from the original boots. So he supervised the repainting. On July 11th, 2010, just shy of his 87th birthday, Louis Nasmith cut the ribbon at Oxbow Park where the boots are a-steppin'. for the rest of time. Look at them. They're beautiful. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Look at that.
Look at that. Oh, sweetie, I can't believe it.
There's lots of big Paul Bunyans and teapots and dinosaurs, but there's only one hat and boots. We couldn't let something like that go. So now, the hat and boots sit surrounded by grass, trees, and a community garden where people can tip their hats to the splendor for the rest of eternity. Could you imagine if this was your local park?
Yeah, I would do sit-ups right in front of it. I pick myself up, do pull-ups on the brim of the hat, just ripped.
We were looking up themed gas stations, and I was like, oh, this one's super fun. This was the first one I clicked on. I love the theme of it, obviously. And then reading the story, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't just skimp out and not tell them the whole saga.
I'd like to think that the creator went there and he had like, the creator meaning the creator of the boots, not God, by the way.
Our creator.
The guy like went in front of the boots and was like, shh, and like, just like moved, like, they're like two dogs. He's
That's cute.
I mean, that whistle, like, is like really loud and like it just like I'm thinking of like an anime version of this. And the
I
boots
love
go, and like dust comes off of them, and they go, and they walk their way.
It was only 4 blocks, so that's they
They
do
can
that.
walk that far.
I close my eyes at night ever since reading the story, and I think about those boots, and I think about being near them and around them, and going to the bathroom in them.
I don't like that. The last part. Just thinking about them. Thinking about them.
Thinking
them.
about them,
Thinking about them.
and it's the boots.
I throw my hands up in the air sometimes and say "wayo." The Hat and the Boots wasn't the only interesting gas station on the planet. There is about 15 more. Maybe more, but they didn't make our list. So we decided to categorize them into these wonderful categories.
Category number 1. Buildings shaped like things. And the Hat and Boots is in this category, but it's not on the list because we talked about it way too much. So the first one is
The shell.
First thought when I look at this, and I said this to Joe last night, this would be a really cool entrance to a club.
It's like, it reminds me of the Cat in Hat when he goes down into the club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What does he go in, a phone booth?
Yeah, and that's never explained what the hell was happening, why there was a party. I'm not gonna get into that right now. The shell is the first on our list. It was made in 1930, so you can imagine this is one of the 4 things to do during the week. It's look at the shell.
Yeah, it's like we can either go get some milk,
Uh-huh.
we can go look at the shell, or church.
Can you imagine, like, coming off of the Roaring 20s, and the guy was, like, so hyped to make this, and then going into the Great Depression, and there's this, like, really beautiful, funny, fun, quirky gas station.
This is in poor taste.
This just doesn't fit the vibe we're all going for.
Everything's brown and dirty right now,
Yeah.
and I made this.
I made this big yellow shell, and then the people at the city council meetings is like, there's a few things on our list here. The aesthetic has been broken. Michael, I'm sorry. I don't know what you want to do. Paint it brown? It's a shell.
Want to paint it brown. In the Great Depression, that's what they're singing.
So there's the shell.
Well, what do we think? Rating wise?
I'm not super keen on it. I
Why?
think it's whatever. Also, what is that? Is that the
It's the mini mart, I think.
that is a one person.
Well, there was a lot less people back then.
I'm gonna go inside the shell. Go ahead, dude. Go ahead. There's no one in there. I don't think there's anyone there.
I think this is pretty high on my list.
I think I would love it if I saw it in real life. Yeah, maybe.
Also, this is built in 1930. That's pretty impressive.
I don't know. I guess I know what's coming next because there's a lot more. I think for a decoration, it's great, but as a gas station theme as a whole,
There was more of these, but over time they got taken out. This is the last standing one.
oh,
It's more rare. Does that excite you more?
no.
Nothing excites you anymore.
Oh, God. Next, we got the Teapot Dome.
Now this is aesthetics. This tickles my little brain in the back. Fun fact, the Teapot Dome is a bribery scandal that involved some president in the 20s. I'll put his name on the screen. It's like funny because he was bribed by the gas companies. That was the name of the place where the bribery happened.
Huh.
So it's a little political
Wow.
humor
So it's
for ya.
like
This is the oldest standing gas station in the country, actually. So that's a fun fact.
wow. I like how above it just says gas.
Also, like, they kept the greenery around it, although is that a cemetery behind it?
Oh.
I can't tell.
Oh, that does kind of ruin the aesthetic, doesn't it? Yeah, that's definitely a cemetery. Oh no.
Just use the erase tool. Okay, next. If you guys don't know, Sinclair is a brand of gas station, and their mascot is a dinosaur. So, you know, certain stations did a little, like, put a little dinosaur on top of the roof. Put a little dinosaur, a bit, this one's pretty big. It's just like the torso of the dinosaur, but then this place built a whole one.
Wow. Not gonna lie. Great idea. I love when people try their best. That's a bad looking dinosaur. That looks bad. Listen, I love when people do things that they're passionate about, but you don't,
I think it gives him character.
I mean,
I'm gonna flip that.
What's
I think
the
that
neck, though? What's the neck? Am I being too harsh?
It's a big Adam's apple.
Just massive throat, swallowing a car. That would have been fun.
Okay.
With that
That's
little
canon.
mouth.
That little mouth.
Fun fact, Sinclair, Dynaco, speaking of control. Speaking of, what's his name? Red Car.
Lightning McQueen!
There you go. Speaking of Lightning McQueen, did you know that Sinclair inspired Dynaco, which is also a gas station in Toy Story and one of the sponsors of the cars in Cars?
Chick Hicks is Dynaco.
Chick Hicks.
I have watched
Wow.
Cars many, many times. It was my favorite Pixar movie for a while. Okay, so we like the dinosaurs as a theme.
That dinosaur in the bottom right, that does something to me and makes me feel good. The big one here, it's like kind of gross.
I won't allow for this slander any
Sorry,
longer.
I apologize.
When you're pulling a wagon.
Oh!
So guys, listen. This was the world's biggest covered wagon. It still holds the
I
record.
really like the wagon theme. That's a lot of fun. Honestly, big things. 1976, it feels like that.
It's very 70s.
Yeah.
And get this, you can buy it.
What?
It's for sale.
Oh.
And it's abandoned now.
So what are we doing? We're buying it? Well, we got a pot. You got a 1340.
But here's the thing. The wheels are gone now.
The wheels are gone.
Yeah.
That's kind of bunk. What would you put in there?
A club.
In that town? I don't think that's gonna work. What would work in there? Honestly, like a hardware store, like a Granger. Jimmy Carter. That sounds like a name that would talk like that.
this. Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy's mom. I'm Jimmy Carter. The wagon. The wagon gets 2 drops of gas out of 100.
And we're moving on. Windmill gas stations.
Ooh.
Thoughts?
Yes. Windmill gas stations are amazing. This makes me feel great, and I am a human.
I'm alive, I'm so alive. Looking at the windmill gas station.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say windmill gas station for the win. Epic!
I like these, but I will say they're not exclusive. Like the Shell, that's exclusive. The world's largest covered wagon, that's an exclusive. Windmills, you see them around. The pea soup, Anderson's
Anderson's Pea Soup has a big windmill, so stiff competition here. I like the windmill. I do think that a good windmill will get anyone going. I do.
You do?
Yeah.
You think it's a surefire?
Anybody who sees a windmill on the side of the road doesn't go, what is that? They always go,
What is that?
what is that? My God. This category is doing the most.
So normally this will be taken as a derogatory thing, like you're doing way too much. But the first one on this list is doing the most in the good way. Pops Soda Ranch.
Woo!
You having a good time? As like every soda you could possibly imagine. Look at the giant cola bottle. It changes colors. It looks beautiful. And who wouldn't want to stop here to get any type of soda?
Goodness gracious. I mean, how elegant they make sodas look. Early 2000s do 50s is bad for the most part, but this is actually elegant. I like this. One thing that makes it even better is like how epic they make drinking soda look. Like, it's not just you're going in there and getting your Mountain Dew or like your normal snack. It is tradition to get a special soda, which I can imagine kids who go here are so excited to go get gas with their parents.
Oh, like imagine if this is on your yearly trip to grandma's. When you see Pops coming up, it's like gotta be the coolest freaking stop.
Moving on from Pops. What a tasty, delightful treat.
Next on our list is Eddie World. Actually, this is the newest one. It's newer than Pops, 2018. This is pretty impressive.
It's definitely the biggest gas station in California. Within Eddie World, the building behind it, it has restaurants in it. It's decked out with amenities. It's a tourist-like destination. It's on the way from LA to Vegas.
How can you say it's the biggest gas station in the world when it's basically you attached another building and business to your gas station?
Because you can say whatever you want. Who's gonna go to this place and go, technically this isn't a gas station. I can literally say, I have the world's best smell. Can you quantify that?
The world's best smell?
Yeah, it's just like that Bud Light commercial that was like,
More taste.
more taste. How can you make, what did it mean more taste? It has more thought when you look at it.
So Eddie World's huge. It's massive. It's doing the most. And then the other, like, doing the most gas station is Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is a humongous gas station. It has a whole entire restaurant, deli, like, it's a grocery store, basically.
The people that have been there can attest to this more than us, but it's essentially a giant Walmart attached to a
Yeah.
massive amount of gas pumps. All of those down there are gas pumps.
This brings up another question, though, because Costco has gas. Is that a gas station?
Is a hot dog a snack or a meal?
A hot dog's a snack. Okay, that was really controversial.
That was so controversial. I do not like the way they spell Buc-ee's, and I know I'll get crucified for that, but I cannot stand that. That's not how you spell Buc-ee's. So apparently, the mascot walks around. Do an impression of the Buc-ee's mascot handler taking his job way too seriously, like Buc-ee is Jay-Z. Okay. This is my impression of the Buc-ee's handler. Why do we call him a handler? Manhandles him. Look at him. Look at this, Buc-ee. Jesse, I found Buc-ee.
You're a little cut off on the head.
I'm gonna squatch down.
Squatch?
Here he is. So he walks him in. Okay, everybody stand back. Stand back. What'd you say? No, stand back. Stand back. One photo at a time. You have 15 seconds to take a photo with you and your family. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm talking. If you do not take that in that amount of time, we will send you off and Buc-ee will go back into his cave. He's in the, they actually put the guy into like a cave and he just like hypes himself up. Can you imagine Buc-ee backstage going like this?
Find a way to end the scene.
Find a way to end the scene. To the next category.
These gas stations are the ones that said, okay, we're not gonna go with a gimmick. We're gonna make this beautiful.
Take gas, make it fashion.
The Tower Station and You Drop In Cafe, built in 1965, and it inspired, yet again another Cars reference, Ramones.
You did what in your cup?
I love the aesthetic. I love the like Art Deco architecture with the neon. I just love.
For all the people who like swing dancing, this is the go-to spot to take a photo. Or pretty much anyone who has a punk band for some reason.
There's overlap between,
Yeah.
you know, it's because modern punk bands, rockabilly, swing dancers / 50s, Disney adults. Tiki is in there too.
We're talking about a whole realm of people.
And they have overlap. Like
This is actually where they're born.
this is where we spawn.
That door,
spawn them.
that door on the right spawns rockabilly chicks.
So this is Jack Colker's 76 station. From 1965, the person who designed it was named Jin Wong, won a contest, a design contest, to design this. And I think that's pretty cool.
That is sexy.
Do you like this one?
Yeah.
It's very Googy, which is the aesthetic, retro future, like 1950s, 1960s, atomic age.
They took the roof and they said, this is posh.
Look at the sky around it, purple, pink. Beautiful.
Love it.
This is the Batumi petrol station and McDonald's. This is in the country of Georgia, and this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It kind of reminds me of the Amazon Spaceballs that are in
Seattle.
Yeah.
This is a McDonald's and a gas station, and by looking at this building, you would think it's neither of those.
It looks like a butterfly exhibit.
I can't think of anything grosser than eating McDonald's in a butterfly exhibit. So this is actually made completely out of recycled materials. It markets itself as the world's most environmentally friendly gas station, which is an oxymoron. We've really come a long way from the shell, and I'm disappointed.
Here's the thing. Looking at what was made now and what was made then, they made gas stations an accessory as we grew up as humans. What a dumb, weird way of saying.
Hey, be easy on yourself.
Okay. All right, I will.
It's okay. You're doing
no,
great.
for sure.
You're doing a
for
good
sure.
job. You're doing a good job.
I'm doing the best job I possibly can.
I know.
And I'm not even crying the way I'm doing this.
Cambria says this looks like it would be in an LMFAO music video.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. So I mean,
It's very Will.i.am.
Otherwise known as the Will.i.am gas station.
Like, it looks like, I don't know why, I just feel like in a lot of Will.i.am music videos, he has like squares that are floating and then they like build something.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is what he would build
Yeah.
in his mind, like with the beat.
And doggummit, we come to my favorite gas station of all time. Hello Kitty gas station. Could you imagine having such a beautiful day outside? It is 79 degrees, and you go, I'm gonna get a vanilla ice cream cone at a Hello Kitty gas station. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Now, the flip side. The guy with the truck with the balls underneath is forced to go there if he's running out of gas.
I love that.
The concept to me that there is somebody out there with like horns on their truck has to go here. Could you imagine just quickly getting gas?
So this is family owned. They've owned it since 2013. In like 2018, they were like, let's redo it. Let's have fun. And they said, it's the Hello Kitty gas station.
It's the Hello Kitty gas station.
And I think it's genius. Is it legal?
At what point does copyright infringement not matter if it's a shrine?
I think it's when you start charging.
I mean, we're charging for gas, not...
Right.
I'm not selling you Hello Kitty
I'm
stuff.
charging you for gas. The product is gas. Hello Kitty is the vibe. You can't put a price on a vibe. I tried it once, trust me. So did you know that there are gas stations for boats?
Ooh, that's fun. Just the teenager just on his phone rocking. Such a small mini mart.
Oh, the person at the desk?
Yeah, he's just
The
like...
counter? I like that. That was visceral.
Aubrey called me visceral. That's awesome.
Boats the house down.
Boats the house down gas. Now we go to you for a question.
Let's chat.
Why do we both make that voice? What is the best theme for a gas station that would get you to go and choose that gas station over another? Two gas stations sitting right next to each other. One of them's Shell, the other one is this. Why are you go?
Two gas stations. And I took the one that was Hello Kitty themed.
Yay!
And that has made all the difference.
And on that note, I want to say thank you, everybody. And,
Oh,
well, thank you for giving me a free toaster and
you for
peanut butter sauce sandwich.
thank you for giving me a peanut butter and banana sandwich. throw a little bacon on that and some
With a
narwhals.
mustache narwhals. A selfie museum.
Thank you so much for coming to the video.
Thank you so much for clicking on our YouTube video. Now you can watch a whole collection of videos on our channel. Be free and don't let anyone lie to you ever again. Subscribe and bye.
When the rootin' becomes tootin', the big boots will go walking. My hat is red, but doggone, I feel blue. The chickens and the donkeys, they all keep me company, but I wish my boots would bring me right back home to you. Big thank you, shout out to our top tier patrons, MP Chiefs Cheevers,
Guillermo,
Fishing with Paw,
Lindsay,
Delia Joe,
Very Tired Egg,
Soleil Hernia,
Nixenia,
Lay Mayhew,
Noel Namir,
and Nixploranora.
Noel, I hope I said your name right.
Noel Niemeyer.
I don't think you're Noel. You wouldn't know.